Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this August event, the Nuesa National Workshop. It's one of the most innovative events in the history of Nuesa as a whole. We welcome everybody, and it's an honor to be a part of this. My name is Adeolu Timothy. I'm a graduate of Electrical and Electronic Engineering from Lautech. Currently, an IT practitioner. I'm into product development as well as software management. And I'll be the moderator for today. It's nice to have everybody on board. While we wait for some of the other participants to join, we would be starting any moment from now. Due to the lockdown, Nuesa had to become innovative in how things are done. They had to think around ways to solve problems despite the limitation. And this is one of the things that informed and brought up this workshop in a way to educate Nigerian populace, the youth, the engineering student, to be proactive, to be solution-oriented, irrespective of the challenges. Because we have realized that it is our duty and our responsibility as Africans, as Nigerians, to build the continent we desire using the resources available to us. We would do it by ourselves. And understanding this need led some of us to start thinking, how can we go about addressing this problem? And realize there is a bit of a knowledge gap between the university graduates and what the industry requires, what the industry has expected of a university graduate. Yes, theoretically, they're sound. They have been trained in the art of engineering, the art of design. But beyond that, there are technical skills that are required, and we realize our own way of contributing, of helping to repair the bridge between the industry and the academics, is by organizing programs like this to empower students, to give them the icing on the cake, to bring industry experts and create a forum, create a platform where students can interact with seasoned professionals, and seasoned professionals can give feedback to students and tell them, this is what we expect of you. This is what the industry is saying. This is the standard. Our educational system has not been designed in a way to foster full integration of the industry and the academics. So most times, a lot of students go through school, go through university, and hoping to get into the industry with assumptions of, oh, I think this is the kind of skill that is expected of us. I think if I know this. So there are so many skills that students build up that are not relevant in the industry. Albeit there are certain skills that students don't even know they're supposed to have. So platforms like these are meant to bridge the gap between the industry and the academics. We limit the number of participants that can join on Zoom, but we have the student participating on the YouTube channel. So we have this live stream to YouTube channel so that they can interact from there. So if you're watching from YouTube or if you are on the Zoom, we welcome you. In a moment, we will proceed into the agenda of the day. But before we proceed, I'd like us to honor our country, Nigeria, while we take the national anthem. If you may, you might decide to stand up where you are and can decide to be on your seat while we take the national anthem. Thank you very much for honoring our dear nation, Nigeria. Before we proceed proper, it's my honor to be the moderator, like I said earlier. And we have dignitaries, and I mean dignitaries, seasoned professionals from all walks of life, engineers, politicians, that have come today to share from their wealth of knowledge and to share out of the experiences they've had being a professional. Ably represented here today, we acknowledge the presence of Governor of Nasarawa State in person of Engineer Abdullahi Esule. It's an honor to have you on board. He's ably represented by Permanent Secretary. In a moment, he will be addressing us. Also, we have Engineer Joe Nwakwe. Pardon my pronunciation. I am a Nigerian, but I'm a Yoruba man. So you would pardon my pronunciation if I did not get it as accurately. But I'm working on my intonation and accent so that my nationality will be complete. All the way from Society of Petroleum Engineers is National Chairman. Also, we have Engineer Louis M. Uwegwuna, the Business Development Manager of Autodesk. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. Also, we have Mr. Fajimi Lanrewaju Ibrahim, is the founder of Launchy Software Academy. It's an honor to have you on board, sir. Without further ado, we'll be having the opening remark, the welcome address by our guest of honor in person of Engineer Abdullahi Esule, ably represented here by the Permanent Secretary. You're welcome, sir.
Hello, thank you very much. Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies, if there are. My name is Usman Abu. I am Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, Science and Technology in Nasarawa State. I humbly represent His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Esule, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, at this very important event. Like you have heard the anchor announce that I represent His Excellency at this event. His Excellency had graciously directed goodwill and solidarity to this workshop, and has also asked me to deliver his message, which is a very brief one. So on that note, having said that, it is indeed with gratitude to Almighty God that I join you today on this occasion of the National Universities Engineering Students Association National Workshop taking place at this very auspicious time. The workshop of this nature couldn't have come at a better time in view of the myriad of challenges that the times have brought to us. Today, the most topical of issues is COVID-19. And the occurrence of COVID-19 has presented us with lots and lots of challenges, thereby tasking us to look outside the box or think outside the box, as the saying goes. Because the situation as we have today is quite different from what we used to have before the occurrence of COVID-19. And only God knows what will happen from henceforth. That is why we need to think outside the box. His Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State, an engineer, has asked me to express profound appreciation to Nuesa for initiating this workshop, which is aimed at making professionals to look beyond the immediate future. Because engineering and technology have the upper hand in our future development. A very immediate example is what happened in the past few months, where organizations and institutions were compelled to organize meetings, workshops, seminars, conferences at various levels via the Zoom or other facilities, so that the society does not come to a standstill. So, that being the case, our upcoming engineers and professionals that are in the field now will do much of good if they bring out initiatives and concepts that would uplift the society even when we are confronted with these challenges. We in Nasarawa State, because we have an engineer at the saddle, are happy to inform this forum that we are working assiduously towards making our citizens key into the newest developments in terms of technology and engineering. That is why our institution, our premier institution, the Nasarawa State University in Kefi, have been well supported to establish a Faculty of Engineering and College of Medical Sciences, which will very soon commence activities. That is all. Those are all geared towards ensuring that we are not left or we're not lagging behind in the trend of engineering and scientific movement. So we want to thank you very much for recognizing His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi A. Sule in your scheme of activities and giving us the honor. That honor is not only for the executive governor governor alone, but to the entire Nasarawa State and its citizens. As you bring different resource persons to address participants at this workshop, we wish that they will address in their respective sub-themes the plethora of problems that our country is facing. The governor wants to institutions of learning that offer subjects or to be very creative, be very innovative. If we listen to the anchor, when he was introducing the meeting or the workshop, he mentioned that what students graduate from our institutions with does not necessarily tally with what the expectations of look out for. A very big challenge to our institutions of learning to diversify, or if possible, the engineering that they offer or they teach these students. Because the students on their own may not be very exposed to what they have not been introduced to in the classroom or in the curriculum. So that is why it is a challenge to our institutions and those who have the stake in the education sector to come out with very useful methods and methodologies of introducing the students who graduate from their various schools to other areas that may not be in the main theoretical, but rather practical for the purpose of utilitarian uses after their graduation. So on this note, on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi A. Sule, we wish you a very successful workshop and believing that the participants at the end of the day will benefit maximally from whatever will be delivered for the good of all. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much for that welcome address, sir. We are very honored to have you on board. And we actually wish this was a physical meeting. It would have been so much interesting. We would have had, that energy in the room, the energy in the hall. But irrespective, we appreciate your presence, sir. And we appreciate the effort and the contribution of His Excellency, the Governor. We hope to come pay a courtesy visit to appreciate him, and please do extend our regards to him, that we actually appreciate his effort. One of the interesting things about having engineers at the helm of affairs is they help drive innovation. And this is very encouraging to us. We know that we have people to look up to in the helms of affairs. I'd like to welcome everybody, those participating on YouTube. We have participants from University of Maiduguri. We acknowledge your presence. We have participants from Federal University of Technology, Mina, Niger State. We have people from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, participating. We have students from Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi, Department of Automobile Engineering. We have people from Federal University of Technology, Akure. We have participants from UniMade. We have participants from Department of Mining, FUTA, that's Akure. We have participants from Lautech. We have participants from Federal University of Agriculture, that's Makodi. We have participants from Mina, Federal University of Technology, Mina, Niger State. We have participants from Kebbi State University of Science and Technology. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on board. Like we said earlier, it is our responsibility to build the nation that we desire. It is our responsibility to take the bull by the horn. And in achieving this, we are bridging the gap. We are interacting with seasoned professionals. Like the permanent secretary said while he was delivering his speech, he said the governor is doing everything in his capacity to drive engineering in the state. That is so much encouragement. Participants from University of Jos, University of Port Harcourt, we acknowledge your presence. We will proceed to having the opening remark in a moment. But before we do that, I'd like to take a citation. Now, this is not just for us to listen and enjoy his profile. As students, as upcoming engineers, one of the things we must pick from here is how to build a career ourselves. How did he build his career? Where did he start from? What are the things he did? And how can we leverage on that? So, it is my honor, a privilege, albeit, for me to read the profile of one of our seasoned professionals. Joe is a partner at Zera Advisory and Consulting, Lagos, with over 30 years of oil and gas industry experience. He served as former special advisor on policy and regulation to the Honorable Minister of State of Petroleum and Resources. He holds Bachelor of Engineering and Master in Engineering degrees in Petroleum Engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, and an MBA from Lincoln University, USA. He has extensive experience working on assets across the globe and across technical disciplines of well engineering, reservoir engineering, and management, work over planning and execution, field and production operations, metering, data management, and technical computing, among others. Joe has authored and co-authored several papers in the area of well engineering, reservoir simulation and management, Nigerian gas market development, oil and gas policy, industry governance and regulation, and contributed to the development of the new national oil, gas and fuel scale policies, Nigerian gas flare commercialization program, and many other Nigerian oil and gas sector reform initiatives. He is immediate past council chairman, Society of Petroleum Engineers Nigeria, a fellow of Nigerian Society of Engineers, member of the Nigerian International Association of Energy Economists, and a current registered professional. It's my honor, sir, to welcome you. This is so much an impressive resume. I wish this was a physical hall while you have people jam their hands together and welcome you. It's nice to have you on board, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed an honor and a privilege for me to be invited to chair this event today. I've been told that this is just a short speech, so I'm going to keep it very, very short. I was excited by the topic, 21st century skills for engineering development and practice. And you can't fault this at this time. We need to, as professionals, we need to scale up and be at the forefront. Not just, we shouldn't lag behind in terms of skills and capacity. So I will preface my speech by saying that one thing that should be clear to all of us today is that engineering skills are evolving. They are not static. And as engineering students and as professionals, you must continue to upgrade your skills to be relevant and useful to the society. And I will not waste your time trying to establish the nexus between engineering practice and national development. Indeed, engineering is at the heart of national development. If you look at the first world nations, all the nations that have achieved any measure of development, it's obvious that they ride at the back of engineering. Engineering is a set of skills and tools that enable you to solve societal problems. And if you recognize that, then it's clear that no nation or no society will indeed develop if you don't have a thriving engineering practice. And that's something that I will throw back to us today as we go through this. Always have at the back of our minds that we're not going to be able to, like the moderator said earlier, that one, no one is going to develop this country for us. So it is us Nigerians that will develop Nigeria. However, it is even more incumbent on the engineers, those who practice the trade of development, of problem solving, to get in the trench and work towards developing our country. So it's very important that we recognize that as we go through these discussions today. So for me, engineering is at the heart of national development. So to the extent to which we develop our skill sets and update it to the level where it can drive that development is to the extent that the society will remain rather developed or undeveloped. So that relationship is very important. Now I will speak to a few other issues that agitate my mind as a practicing engineer. One is education, the kind of training that we have. It's important that, and I say this to all of you because you're still going through that process. It's important that we recognize that there is a limit to what the established educational system will deliver. And that we need to, as people who desire to be professionals, to help grow our skills outside the formal setting. This is very, very important, and I think if there's anything you take away today, is that the responsibility to develop yourself to a world-class engineer is yours, not your lecturers, not your professors. So and there is no such thing as a Nigerian engineer, right? Let's get this right. There's no such thing as a Nigerian engineer. There is an engineer, and that engineer is a world-class engineer. So you must develop your skill set where you can be globally competitive. So I hate to say this, engineering problems do not understand national boundaries. So problems are problems and they need to be solved, and you are here to solve them. So you must develop your skill set to where you can be globally competitive, to where you can help society to advance, to move beyond where it is today. So let's recognize that our current educational system has inbuilt limitations. So we must step out of that, our cocoon, and grow skills that can enable us to do this. And I must say this, if we need to be truthful, our current educational curriculum was developed by the colonial masters when they were living to help raise people who can work in the service. They were not developed to help people go out there and solve problems on their own, right? So we all went to school thinking we will come out and get a job. That is how we have been conditioned to think. So the world has changed. The world has since moved. So we must start to produce engineers who will start solving problems even from school, and who will be able to monetize the solutions that they provide and build capital. That is very important, because I remember saying 2 years ago when I was invited to a Nuesa, your conference, it was a fiscal event in Abuja. I did say that you cannot consume technology from a place and expect that you will continue to develop. If you continue to take ready-made solutions from somewhere, those people will automatically bring their ready-made capital as well. So we must recognize that we need to build capital locally, provide engineering solutions locally to solve local problems. So those are the two critical enablers I see. So we must start as young engineers to have a problem-solving mindset. Do not expect that when you finish, you want to go and work. And some of us will, but let that not be the default mentality as we go through education, that we are coming to get work and work in an establishment. No, you are coming to create wealth. You're coming to solve problems, create wealth, and build entities that will employ people. That should be the mentality. So the value addition thinking is what we need to come up with. I would like to see all of you go out there, and let's not say this without, I need to emphasize this. Our society has a lot of problems, and our society needs solutions to those problems. So it is up to you to decide what specific problems you want to address, find a solution, and find a way to monetize that solution to build wealth. So that is how we will move from the current system to an innovative society. So we cannot will it. There's no way we can dream it. It's not something we wake up and suddenly we have an innovative society. So to be able to build an innovative society, we must be able to find solutions to our common problems, our local problems, find a way to monetize it so that those who spend time thinking about those solutions indeed can build wealth out of it and create prosperity for the society at large. So I think at this point, I would like to stop, and I want to thank you once more for inviting me, and I hope to be with you all through today. So sit back, enjoy. I can see this is going to be interesting. I've looked at the lecturers and all that. So we'll all go through it, and I hope at the end of the day we'll find common ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate the thing is said. There's no. This is an important thing to note. The competition is global. The competition is global, and we all must understand that from our respective quarters, that it does not matter if you are competing from Port Harcourt, it does not matter if you are competing from Kaduna, you are competing globally. You are competing globally. And this we all must pay attention to. There is no national boundaries. There's no national boundaries. This is important as well. The competition is global. Then solve problems from school and monetize it. You know, the rate of unemployment keeps spiking every day. And a way for us to solve this problem is when we start to look at problems around us and find ways to address them. Look at problems around us, find ways to address those problems. In the place of thinking about problems, that is where we figure out the solution to them, and that is where we get paid for solving those problems. So there's no such thing as a Nigerian engineer. So the fact that you think you have Nigerian factor as something playing against you, it should not be a limitation. It should not be a limitation at all. You are competing globally. There is internet now. The world has become a cyberspace that has become a small village. So very important, very important. You must note that the competition is global. The competition is global. Then solve problems from school and monetize it. Thank you very much for that awesome presentation. That was so enlightening and very rich. We really appreciate that. Yes, We are moving forward. We are moving forward into the business of the day, bit by bit. I'm moving into the business of the day, bit by bit. The next thing on our agenda, is the presentation from Angela Lewis. Iwegbuna. We'll be having a presentation from him. Is the business development manager with Autodesk. So please, participants, while he presents, those joining from YouTube, those joining on Zoom, please, let's do well to take notes, as well as type in our questions. We are collating questions and comments, both from YouTube as well as Zoom. We are collecting questions both from YouTube and Zoom. So, in a moment, you permit me as I read the citation, as I go through the profile of our next speaker, in person of Engineer Louis Weguna, is you pardon us, we're having a bit of technical issue here. That's why I'm trying to share his profile with us. And by the way, this is one of the challenges we're facing in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. So we should start thinking in that direction. How can we solve those problems as Africans? How can we solve those problems as Nigerians? Each time, now lockdown, COVID has forced every one of us to resolve to holding meetings remotely, to resolve to holding meetings online, and all of that. But each time, we keep facing the problem of having a smooth event. We keep having problem of having a smooth event. Is either the network is acting up or one thing is happening. Let's think in this direction to solve those problems. So in a moment, I'll quickly run profile. I'll quickly run through his profile for us. Apologies, please. We've been having a lot of back and forth from here. Okay. So he's an enthusiastic professional, an individual who has a proven track record of achieving results in highly competitive environment and entrepreneurship, and has entrepreneurship ability. He's a true business development strategist and an experienced manager of people who is driven to hunt for new business with great ability for driving sales. I think I like this profile. He drives sales, revenue, and mentally resilient enough to be able to push past rejection to achieve results. A talented business developer with experience and commitment in pre-sales, sales, and after sales, who can enhance the performance of any business by using energy, drive, and commitment to succeed to build outstanding relationship with partners and drive overall revenue growth. On a technical level, he has been exposed and certified on a range of technologies. A quick learner, fast at absorbing new ideas and adapting to changing scenarios. His consulting experience includes work in private and public sector, energy, IT, telecommunications, construction, manufacturing, financial services, amongst others. He is a graduate of Enugu State University of Science and Technology. He has Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science and Engineering. I think I'd like you to be my mentor, sir, if I should interject at this point. He has skills in business development, key accounting, relationship management, business solution management, channel business management, brand management, senior executive relationship management, enterprise business development, product training and presentation, team growth and mentoring, revenue generating initiative, technical sales and management, after sales management, project management, among others. He is a professional member of Nigerian Computer Society, Computer Registration Council, the Nigerian Institute of Management. And these are his professional experiences till date. It's a privilege and honor to have you with us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Can I share my screen now?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. Thank you for having me. All protocol duly observed. Hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, we can hear you. It's a privilege to present how engineers can, how we can enable the 21st century skill for engineering development and practice. On the agenda, we're going to touch what is 21st century skill, categories of 21st century skills. Why are 21st century skills important? How do you prepare for 21st century skill? How do we log in? First, I try to explain what 21st century is all about so that we all can understand before we go into details on the presentation. 21st century skill refers to a broad set of knowledge skill, work habits, and character traits that are believed by educators, school reformers, college professors, employers, and others to be critically important to success in today's world. 21st century skill is generally used to refer to certain core competencies such as collaboration, digital literacy, critical thinking, and problem solving that advocates believed schools need to teach and to help students thrive in today's world. What are 21st century skills? 21st century skills is put into three categories. And the first one is the learning skill, literacy skill, life skill. Now we go on to explain each of these categories one by one. The learning skill. Under learning skill, we have the critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Critical thinking, finding solution to problems. I think that's part of our biggest challenge in this part of the country. A student graduates as a graduate, gets into the labor market, all their mindset is, I'm going out there to work. I'm going out there to design a CV and start looking for work. We don't come up with the idea of, are there challenges they are facing as an engineer? Are there challenges there that I can find solution to? Creativity, thinking outside the box. This is another big challenge we have. There's a general mindset with a lot of students. I would say like 75 to 80% students. Everybody, they are graduating, they are just thinking along one stretch, which is, I'm graduating to go and work. A lot of people are not thinking about, I'm graduating as an engineer. What services can I provide as an engineer when I get out into the labor market? Collaboration, working with others, ability to be able to work with different people, different professionals, to be able to achieve a common goal. Creating a kind of ecosystem that can assist to help us solve the immediate needs and problems that we have presently. Communication. A lot of graduates now, they find it very difficult to communicate, sending message, communicating, being able to be on a better platform to be able to communicate to services, needed people, customers, vendors, and all that across board. The second category touches on literacy skill. Under literacy skill, we have information, we have media, we have technology. Under literacy, we have information literacy, understanding facts, figures, statistics, and data. Now, everything we do sits in the cloud. Virtually every professional, they all now have a cloud system. Everybody is now gradually shifting into knowledge economy, a situation whereby you have access to data that you can always access to take decision, data you can always access to be able to make the next move. Media literacy, understanding the method and outlet in which information is published. A lot of companies now talk about social media management and all that across board. How do we understand, how do we fit into this skill to be able to run and be able to perform in the market? Technology literacy, understanding the machine that makes information age possible. The way it is nowadays, programming is no more just for computer scientists. Programming is now across board. Architects are also into programming. Economics are into programming. Mech engineers are into programming. Recently, one of the professionals, a fresh student in Port Harcourt, an architect, was able to use Python to redesign a software connecting to an architectural software, Revit, to be able to do complex drawing. That is the era of 21st century we're looking forward to having in Nigeria. The third category, life skills. We're talking in terms of flexibility, leadership. You having the ability to be able to initiate ideas, productivity, social skill. Under flexibility, we're looking at a situation whereby you are able to change the status quo. The key technology in the world now, that's why you see that most of the engineers and scientists using the word disruptive technology. We want you to come into the market and not saying this is the way we've been doing it for over 20 years. This is the way we've been doing it for over 30 years. Let's come up with ideas that can change, make us work smarter, not making us work harder, work smarter. Recently, in one of the conferences I attended online, a mechanical company in UK that has been existing for over 100 years. They've been struggling to improve on mode of production and all that. Students that graduated from one of the top universities were able to change mode and process of working in that company. They were able to improve overall revenue of that company by over 200% by changing the old way that they've been working. Leadership, motivating a team to accomplish a goal. We should try to understand the difference between a leadership and being a top manager. They are both completely different. As a leader, you should be able to motivate your team. You should be able to encourage everybody in your team. You don't look down on anybody. And you have to keep working as a team to be able to accomplish a goal. I was opportune to be part of a conference last 2 years at Unilag, organized by a youth NGO, Youth for Africa. And what they are trying to preach here is they do the event once every year and they rotate it around universities in Nigeria. And what they do is they bring on board students from different departments, even beyond engineering. Try to bring all of them together to be able to work as a team to achieve a common goal. Having the ability to be able to have that initiative, starting a project, strategy and plans on one's own. I've also been privileged. A student visited one hotel in Ikeja, and he discovered that once they take light, their fountain stopped running. And he approached the management and told the management, "Sir, I can design a power that can manage that fountain without depending on NEPA." And the guy was able to do a solar energy that controls that fountain, and that fountain runs 24/7 off their power, reducing cost for them and helping them to run that system round the clock. Productivity, maintaining efficiency in an age of distraction. A lot of young men are distracted nowadays, young engineers most especially. They spend more time on social media, complaining, being negative, but we need to start being productive. Start changing our mindset to start adding value to the society. Social skills. Under this skill, you also need to have the ability to meet people, network, having the ability to, under a short time, you can quickly introduce yourself. You can quickly talk to an individual on your capability and what you can do for mutual benefits. Under this 21 stuff that I've mentioned, now we try to touch each. Teaching students about the mental process required to adapt and improve upon a modern work environment. Most of our graduates today, the mindset is that they are just going to the university to go and get a certificate, come out and start looking for work. It goes beyond that. There's a lot involved. There's a lot involved under learning skill. There's a lot you need to learn. And a lot of students took advantage of that COVID period. During the COVID, they were able to specialize on some professional technologies online. A lot of them took, we have a WhatsApp group called Autodesk Ambassador. Immediately the strike started, we had to quickly design a goal. We had to quickly design a career goal for a lot of students on that platform. And part of the goal is you have to learn one technology software have the ability to use it and be able to use it to do your project. And also, apart from that, certification, we also got involved in terms of certification. We're able to bring in different bodies to assist, and they were allowed to take this professional exam at a discounted rate. There are some that are supposed to cost them about 400. Everything was done in less than 100,000 naira. And a lot of students took advantage of that. That's part of the learning skill we're talking about. Literacy skill. Focusing on how students can. The main thing now is technology is everywhere. You have a very fantastic, that fantastic advantage. During my own time in early 90s, there was no Google. There was no internet. For you to do projects, you have to move from company to company. You have to go, but nowadays you can sit at the comfort of your house, go online and do a lot of research, do a lot of discovery, do a lot of training without moving out of your house. How do we make good advantage of this literacy online programs that we have? Life skill. Yes, it's not just about having the certificate. It's not just about graduating with a first class. It's not just about I'm the best student. It's not about I'm very good in what I do. Do you have what it takes to manage yourself out there? Do you have what it takes to manage success? Do you have what it takes to manage any environment you find yourself? You need to seriously focus and check all these things. There are a lot of social medias where you can learn this. You have LinkedIn, you have Google, you have all that. You can actually go online and pick one of these and learn on your own. You don't need to start or keep waiting for school to do everything for you. Altogether, these categories cover 12 21st century skills that contributes to a student's future career. Why is it important to have these 21st century skills? Having this 21st century skill is going to change the way you think. Mindset is a very big challenge in this part of the world. The mindset is that because my senior has done this, is not doing well there, there's no hope of me going out there to do better. Like I tell every young man, the system we have in Nigeria is survival of the fittest. It's a rat race. It's not about how good you are. It's not about I'm the best in my class. It's about how you can take advantage of the situation you find around you. How do you prepare yourself? I tell a lot of people that there's nothing called luck. What I define as luck is when the opportunity is there and you are prepared for the opportunity. You know how to use technology. You know how to use what it takes. You have already prepared yourself for opportunity that is coming. When that meets opportunity, people call it luck. But you have to put in a lot to be able to get to that level. In terms of critical thinking, you have to look at your environment, because there's one big opportunity we have in Nigeria in terms of our population, in terms of we're still far behind when it comes to technology, in terms of there are still a lot of openings beyond Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. What are we doing to take up those opportunities? What are we doing? The ways of working. COVID took a lot of companies unaware last year. When the thing came, January, everybody has prepared their budget for the financial year. They've prepared all their plans. It came in March, and a lot of companies went down. A lot of companies were not prepared on how to work using technology to do their job. A lot of companies could not fit in. A lot of companies closed down. So it's high time we start thinking about the future. It's high time we start planning using technology. When we're planning, it's not just about the physical planning. It's about also putting technology in place when we're planning in terms of collaboration. What is going on in the construction industry now? There's what is called BIM, Building Information Modeling. Now, immediately you have your concept concept of a building before you even go to site. You can sit down with all the different professionals. You sit down with the architect, the structural engineer, the civil engineer, the MEP, everybody, including the quantity surveyor and the land surveyor. Everybody sits down. There's a software called AEC. Under that AEC, everybody puts in his data into it. And immediately, the concept of whatever you want to do comes up automatically after putting all the data. Everything comes up, and you can even take decision while it's there. There's also software called BIM 360 design, a situation whereby wherever you are does not affect a project. You can, once you have internet access, you are working, you are part of a project team. Everything is being done, design is being changed. Everything keeps moving. Microsoft also introduced Teams for you to be able to have your meetings remotely, like the Zoom we're using now. We're having our meeting, everybody is sitting at the comfort of their offices, their homes, and things are going. These particular tools from working, how many of the technology have we been able to pick up to learn? Every profession has a technology tool that you can use to improve on what you are doing presently. There are so many schools abroad. Students don't really go to class. Most things are done remotely. Have we been able to look into these tools? Recently, I had a discussion with some students. They are now trying to work on MLS, learning system for schools, because now the way we're going, it's likely most schools are going to be running online, remotely. Students can actually take up this as a project. It's something that can be done and designed. And you have a full support because federal government is using CBN to support a lot of entities to be able to come up and run the system. Living in the world, trying to manage yourself in terms of ethics, in terms of morals, the way you behave outside, the way you dress, the way you behave, the way you interact is also part of it. You also need to check this. And luckily for you guys, you have so many free trainings online where you can learn this. There are a lot of them that you don't need to pay for. You can just have them online free, and then maybe when you want to move to the next level, then you can look for the one you can pay for. How do you prepare for the 21st century? These are all the key things we put into consideration, but mindset is very key. Mindset is very, very key. That is the biggest challenge we have in this part of the world, in Africa. The mindset is the white people are better than us. They have better equipment. They have better ways of working. But there are other ways we can also manage what we have. Think outside the box. Chairman, in his opening remark, it's not about a Nigerian engineer. It's about you as an engineer. What value can I add? As a student in '92, Professor Mobison came all the way from UK to give us a lecture. He's a lecturer in MIT. And one thing he keeps telling us is, you call yourself an engineer. You put that name, engineer. You want to be called an engineer. What value are you adding to society? What are you thinking to improve the present situation in the country? There are so many ways you can add value. It goes beyond what you are doing in school. TED Fund is there supporting lecturers. NCC is there, CBN is there. They are all supporting. But the complaint that keeps coming back is the fund is there, but they don't know what to do with it. So, and that's why the present Nuesa, the last year set and this is set. What we've planned to do, which I'm working with them, others are working, but most of the private universities have already started that. They have a department they call industrial unit inside the school. What the industrial unit does is they set up a committee of professionals in the business world. What they do is to design a career path, have a technology center inside the school, also create a link between the students and companies outside, because we've seen situations whereby you see a mechanical engineer, he's supposed to go for 6 months IT. You see him going to a bank to go and work as a cashier, and he wants to graduate to come and be an engineer. We've seen situations whereby they keep complaining about the society. I can tell you one thing today. Let me use myself as a very good example. 92, during the first strike, what I did was to go and learn how to assemble, because I read computer engineering. I went to go and learn how to assemble system, how to install softwares. That was how I started. And from there, when it was time for me to do IT, basically I went to the company to go and work. Even during my NYSC, when I was posted to Anambra State to go and work, I was posted to a computer training center. I created and started the engineering department in that center. And we were able to generate, within 6 months, we were able to generate over 20 million that time. So what stops you from doing that? When during my own time, we didn't have access to internet, we didn't have access to Google, but nowadays we have access to all that to train us. What are you doing to prepare yourself? What are you doing to learn online? What are you doing to take advantage of internet at your disposal? What are you doing? Have you been able to create a career development time for yourself? Out of 10 to 15 hours you spend on Facebook, on Instagram and all that, why not just create 2 to 3 hours daily or weekly? Go online, go on LinkedIn. There are so many educative sites where you can go to learn. Join conferences that are free. Join professional bodies. Also, most of the vendors, the software vendors, they have platform for students like you. Autodesk has a platform they call a student platform, where you even have access to educational licenses. You even have access where they can train you. Microsoft has such. It's across. Take advantage of this. Build yourself. Don't say I'm a year 1 student, I'm a year 2 student. It's clear that curriculum is faulty because of the environment we find ourselves. What value are you adding to yourself as an individual? How are you making good use of internet? How are you making good use of the social medias within you? How are you building your mindset to be an entrepreneur before you graduate and get into that market? What are you doing to help yourself to be able to adapt to the system and move away, shift away from the mindset of complaint and move away to the positive mindset? Have you sat down one day and said, okay, let me pick a mentor that I can work with. Let me pick a company that can take care of this technological development that is going on in the market. It's not an excuse, because we've tried it in the 2 years and it has really worked. Recently, there are a lot of students out there working remotely with companies abroad, building softwares locally, managing websites. A lot are still coming up. Recently, one of the mechanical companies, students from the Polytechnic Ibadan were posted there. They changed the way they work completely. So many companies like that. There's another company that they normally send their designs to India and China. Students that went there for NYSC were able to use Inventor to design everything they were sending to India to go and design. What are you doing? What value are you adding to yourself? How are you preparing yourself for the 21st century? In order to be able to help, UNESCO came up with an idea and said they should do a framework on how they can bring up innovation so that they can impart that into educational system to help schools and catch them young from primary, secondary school. It's not too late and you are not too young to learn. If you go online, Autodesk has what they call Tinkercad. As young as 4 years, you can start using Tinkercad to start designing, to start learning how to design, to start doing creativity, to start with your innovation. What you need is for you to groom yourself, share ideas, attend conferences, and know what's going on. They came up with these templates. They have one for students, another one for teachers, And another one about the learning system and how to sustain that skill and school improvement. Yes, a lot of students, they keep blaming their lecturers that this is what they taught me, that's what I'm doing. The internet at your disposal, what are you doing with it? Your career goals. Do you have a career goal? Immediately you enter university, you should have a career goal. You should have technology software you should start learning at your free time. You should have time, innovative time. Move around, check where you know things are not working well, and you can come up with innovation. There are a lot of NGOs online that can support this kind of ideas that you have. So you need to log in before it's too late. You don't wait to be a graduate before you can fit in. This is the quote from Ivan. He said, illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn in the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very detailed, very encouraging, and very informative presentation, sir. That was really beautiful. That was really beautiful. We really appreciate that. It's people participating on YouTube
Your internet.
it has actually been interesting.
We're struggling to hear you.
I'm going to read up the comments to you. Wow, what an inspiring speech right on. This. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so it has actually been very informative. These are information that people need to start to hear. There are so many learning opportunities out there. Companies, software companies, they are giving out a lot of licenses out for students. I have been a participant. I've benefited from that. I remember from my 200 level, I've been working with AutoCAD, I've been working with Revit and the likes. So it's been interesting. Some of this software are available for free. Some of these resource materials are available for free. So thank you very much, sir. I believe this was very informative. Please, those participating, if you have questions, please do well to drop your question. We will definitely read it out. But for now, we really don't have any question. We have people participating from University of Uyo in Akwa Ibom, from ATBU, Kebbi State University. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing time to share with us from the wealth of your experience. Thank you for, there's been a lot of information I picked up, and it's just interesting. It's just interesting to know that there are people who still believe in Nigeria. There are people who still believe things can be done irrespective of the challenges we face, irrespective of how limiting the resources can be, we can still do more. And that honestly goes a long way. That is very encouraging. Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate it. And we hope to reach out more to you. For students who are listening, it's not until you have a one-on-one seat with seasoned professionals like this. He has talked about a lot of information. He has mentioned a lot of opportunities his companies are pushing out there. I was noting them down. His company they are partnering with universities and a whole lot of things. Let's do well. Let's do well to take advantage career out of it. Online or offline, is that I ensure to get the name of whoever the resource person happened to be. Then I connect with them on LinkedIn. I don't like giving out phone numbers and emails because people are definitely going to abuse it. So if you can go further to reach out on LinkedIn, please do that. It is very important. That would have helped filter out a lot. They have a very busy schedule. They have a lot of work to do, but if they are making themselves available to attend to upcoming engineers, to attend to those of us that are just building our careers, we should take advantage of this and build beautifully with it. Like I said earlier, his name is Engineer Louis M. Uwegbuna, and we really appreciate. Personally, I appreciate your profile. Being a business developer is an interesting career path. It's actually an interesting career path. So we really appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. Moving forward, there are key things that has been mentioned since we started this conference. There are key things that has been mentioned, and I will do a brief summary about some of those things. Number one thing is this: when you look at Africa, when you look at Nigeria, what do you see? Do you see problems or do you see solutions? Those are important questions you ask yourself. Some people, when they look at Africa, they see a continent plagued with problems. They see a continent that is filled with hunger, a continent where people are starving. While others see a continent where they can go into an agro-based solution. There are so many value chains you can leverage upon. You can decide to be a farmer. You can decide to, innovate. Create a platform where farmers and sellers get to meet. Some people see Africa as a continent that is very dirty. Is it a continent that is dirty that you see, or you see a continent where you can come up with a waste management solution? Do you see a continent that is always plagued with what do we call it now, sicknesses, or do you see a continent where you can come up with innovative ideas to address some of these challenges? So you must start to see differently. You must start to look at your environment differently and ask yourself, what can I do to make this continent better? What can I do to improve the situation of people around me? Specifically, I'm going to be sharing something with us. This is a solution built by some Nigerians. One of the major problems in Africa is the problem of power supply. We don't have enough power supply, and now we've come to a time where we have internet boom. Everybody is on their smartphone, meaning people need to charge their phone. Unfortunately, most of the phone accessories we have, they are not reliable. Okay, they don't last. So some of these Nigerian guys came up with a solution. They did research and felt, what can we contribute to Africa? What can we contribute to Nigeria as a whole? We've always experienced this problem as well. So they designed a solution, a USB charging cable that charges your phone in less than 1 hour, in 30 minutes specifically. It charges your phone in 30 minutes to 45 minutes specifically. Now, because they understand the business aspect of it, they added 13 months warranty, which is something very innovative in their approach. They realize a lot of business owners don't care about customer support. Everybody just care about, I want to make my money. So they added that innovation to it. We are going to give it a 13-month warranty. If anything should happen to this cable, that level of innovation, they did the design, did the research, checked what are the loopholes in the existing solution in the market, and they made that available to people. They are Nigerians. They could have sat and complained that, we don't have this, we don't have that, but they came up with a solution. They came up with a solution to address a problem. People have phones, they need to charge their phone, they need to have a reliable charging cable. They came up with that solution. So these are ways we must start to think. These are ways we must start to think. AutoCAD came up with a solution. You have software. Instead, if you can't afford the full license, they have package for students. You can learn. Every of these platforms, they have ambassadorship packages that we can leverage upon as students. You can apply to be one of the ambassadors. As an ambassador, you have access to so many resources that you don't necessarily have to pay for. So we must start to think differently. We must start to be innovative. Like he said, it is obvious our education system is faulty. There's nothing you can do about that, but we must evolve beyond just complaining and taking the bull by the horn by designing solutions and offering solutions to people. Yes, that has been very informative. That has been very informative. Please, those asking for the resource material, it will be sent to your email. I believe some of us have registered on the Nuesa platform. It will be sent to your email. Thank you very much. Some of these innovative platforms, yes, somebody is asking, how do we get some of these innovative platforms? Use Google. There's nothing you type into Google today that does not bring to you. Type, how can I learn Autodesk for free? It's going to bring that information to you. What career path can I follow as an AutoCAD designer, as a Revit designer, somebody who is into building and construction, as an electrical engineer, as a computer scientist? It's going to bring a lot of information. The kind of information you should look for is, what are the skills that are in demand in the 21st century? What were the highest skills that were hired in 2020? Those are informations to leverage upon. And I believe we can actually do more. We can actually do more. And please don't just archive this information as part of the conferences you attended in 2021. You know, you said this and you just jotted it down in your book and all of that. No, we are going to do more. We are going to take action. Moving forward, we'll be having our next speaker in person of Faji Milanre Ibrahim, the founder of Launchy Software Academy. And in a moment, I'll be reading his citation to us while he prepares to come on board and make his presentation. Faji Milanre Waju Ibrahim, nicknamed Launchy, is the founder and director of operations at Launchy Software Academy in Ogbomoso, Oyo State. He's a senior MATLAB coder with over 11 years of coding experience. Launchy started his coding journey in 2009 while he was in his third year of undergraduate study at Latoke Akintola University of Technology, LAUTECH, and failed on 3 different attempts after enrolling for MATLAB training from his tutors, Adedeji Oluwaseun and Lawal Olabanji, who were a senior colleague from the same department. After his third failure in 2012, during his final year of study, he then decided to become the whole manual and practice all the quizzes till he became invincible in programming. In 2012, Launchy decided to embark on his MATLAB training crusade, starting with the chemical engineering students in 200 level and 300 level, where over 40 students enrolled in his first batch. The first training was a huge success, which called for an extension to the Faculty of Engineering, LAUTECH. In 2016, while he was actively coding and publishing on MathWorks, Launchy was ranked among the top 2,000 MATLAB programmers in the world by MathWorks Programmer. Till date, Launchy has trained over 700 students, including lecturers and postgraduate students, and has been involved in over 100 projects in various areas of MATLAB. Launchy has one of his machine learning projects recently published by Elsevier, that's the Journal of Cleaner Production, and several other journals and books chapters still in process to be published this year. In addition, he is highly proficient in over 25 softwares, which includes Python, C++, Aspen ISIS, Coco Simulator, SPSS, R, Minitab, Design Expert, ChemCAD, Octave, Aspen Plus, SolidWorks, among several others. His software proficiency led to the launch of his software academy in Ogbomoso, Oyo State, where over 300 students have graduated with various soft skills abilities. As earlier mentioned, Launchy is currently the founder and director of operation at Launchy Software Academy in Ogbomoso. He's also a software consultant to LAUTECH Department of Physics, Chemistry, Food Science and Science Engineering, Mechanical and Chemical Engineering, and also to the University of Johannesburg in South Africa, Department of Chemical Engineering, Food Technology and Biotechnology, as well as Mining and Metallurgy. He's one of the founding members and AI expert at Incub Hub, a startup incubation firm in Ibadan. And finally, he is a research scholar and PhD candidate at University of Johannesburg, with his research focus on waste stack gasification, modeling, simulation, and economical analysis. Launchy has attended various seminars and symposiums as an undergraduate and at graduate level on various areas of information technology and fourth industrial revolution application to his field of study. He has held various leadership positions and has been an active member of organizations and groups such as the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, Nigerian Society of Engineers, International Association of Engineers, University of Johannesburg Material and Research Group, Lautech Java Community, Google Developers Community, MathWorks, among others. It's my privilege and single honor to welcome Mr. Ibrahim Lanre as he makes his presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. All protocols duly and well observed. First of all, I would like to appreciate the presence of the representative of the governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, who is represented by his speaker, represented. Also, I would like to observe the chairman of the day, Engineer Joe Wankwe, and Engineer Louis Wegwina, the speaker, the first speaker, the host, and the president of the Nuesa national body. Can I share my slide? Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes, it's coming up.
Okay. Can everybody see the slide?
Yes, we can.
Can you see it in form of PowerPoint presentation or just normal slide?
Yeah, PowerPoint present. No, it's just showing slide.
Okay, can you see it here now, clearly now?
Yes, we can see it clearly now.
Okay, enabling 21st century skill for engineering practice, engineering development and practices. My name is Faji Milarawadi once again. I'm the founder and director of Professional at Launches Software Academy, situated in Ogumosho. And here is my presentation outline. First of all, I would like to introduce what 21st century engineering and technology skill is and what people have been doing so far on it. The second, the 21st century engineering and technology skills. Then I would like to mention a few of them. Then why you should acquire 21st century tech skills. Then I will make mention of the most important aspect of the tech skill, which is the fourth industrial revolution, and the references. Introduction. The first speaker has already talked about most of what I want to say, but I'll try and brief the most important points here. Why reskilling and upskilling are critical short-term needs. The current mismatch between education and unemployment is the result of a system in which proxies for skills rather than the skills themselves are taught, recruited, promoted, and rewarded. A recent study, Strategies for the New Economy, Skills as the Current Currency of the Labor Market, published in collaboration with Willis Tower Watson, suggests how a skill-based system may be created through changes in the learning ecosystem, the work ecosystem, and the broader enabling environment. It covers 10 strategies, including building, adapting, and certifying foundational, advanced skill and adult workforce skills, realizing the potential of education technology and personalized learning, mapping the skill content of jobs and developing a common taxonomy, and designing portable certification. Such action will have a positive impact on both labor market efficiency and socio-economic mobility. The 21st century skills and engineering and the 21st century engineering and technology skills. Programming. Programming skills are not just reserved for developers. Other IT staff, such as customer service team or project managers, need to have the basic understanding of programming to support customers or coordinate projects. Any graduate entering IT industry will be more valuable to an employer if they know how to code, because they can take a programming-related task from the outset. That is number one, which has been mentioned by the first speaker already. The second one is analysis of big data and business intelligence. This type of data analysis is crucial in many roles because it can give business vital information they can use to retain market share or define competitive advantage. Big data analysis plays a crucial role in overall business process, which is why this technical skill is valued so highly by many employers. Data skills most valued by employers include algorithm, analytical skills, big data, data analytics, data mining, documentation, modeling, quantitative research, statistical analysis, amongst others. Number three, project management. The first speaker already spoke on project management as well. If you are attentive, So being able to effectively coordinate resources, people and budget as a project manager is one of the best technical skills that you can have. Project managers are required in every industry, from construction to digital design. A qualified project manager will be able to deliver projects more efficiently, use resources effectively, and deploy the right staff to complete the right task. This can result in resource savings, prompt resolution of problems, anticipation of future issues, and an overall improvement in the work environment. Even if you do not secure a project management role straight from university, your project management skills and certification will still be highly valued and recognized by any potential employer. Information security. In an increasing digital world, security is an area of great concern among many business owners. Data breaches can have a devastating impact on a business, from loss of customers through irreparable damage to the reputation of the company. As a result, damage is increasing for the technical security specialists. Security management is a technical skill where specialists develop the knowledge to identify loopholes in the system, pinpoint any vulnerabilities, and tailor practices to strengthen the way in which information is being managed. Learning information technology and displaying it on your CV as a technical skill, can add value to your application, particularly if you are entering an IT or data management role. Number 5, designer. With more business moving online, the scope for designers is huge. Designers now need to master a number of technical skills, from software such as Photoshop, CorelDRAW, through the use of tools, through the tools they use to create wireframes. Technical skills such as working knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are also useful for designers. Marketing assistants. If you enter a marketing position, your job will involve much more than finding new business. Today's marketing roles require many different tasks, from developing email marketing strategies and newsletters through overseeing SEO. SEO is search engine optimization, and monitoring analytics. Expertise in HTML and CSS can therefore be useful, as can understanding of how servers and browser function and how search engines index data. Number 7 is writers. Believe it or not, writers need technical skills too. Today's writing goes much further than simply using a word processor to create a great piece of content. Writers have to be multi-skilled, particularly in the digital world. A writer will need a range of technical skills to understand content management system, get the basic of SEO, and even know how to put together a website or a blog to publish work for themselves or on behalf of clients. Why should you acquire a 21st century skills? That's a good question to ask yourself. Number 1, they make you a better problem solver. Coding is all about problem solving. You start with a user problem that needs to be solved and come up with a solution. Then you test that solution to find bugs or possibly improvement on that code, and you create a better solution. Every step of the way is about solving problems. Problem solving skills are universal and can be applied virtually in every walk of life, regardless of your industry. Technology. Number 2, technology. Technology is much less frustrating when you understand it. How many times have you gotten completely frustrated because your smartphone did something unexpected and you had no idea of how to fix it? Or when you couldn't figure out how to make your computer do something that seems like it should be simple. Technology is way less frustrating if you understand how it works. And while coding skills won't teach you how to build a program, how to build and program your own smartphone from scratch, understanding some tech basics makes virtually everything in tech make a bit more sense to you. Once you understand one thing, you can better understand the rest. Number 3, save money by solving tech problem yourself. When was the last time you had to hire somebody to fix your computer or gotten frustrated? Like what this first speaker said, he said it started from fixing computer, if you pay attention. So when you get frustrated with all this, when you get frustrated, you need tech support. And this technology is something you can actually do yourself if you have a basic knowledge on how to reboot computer, etc. With tech skills, you can learn to diagnose and fix a lot of problems yourself. If you get the basics, and more importantly, if you are comfortable with technology, the solution to a lot of problems, all of tech problems, is just a Google search. What's the host just said? Just search it. There's nothing that nobody has not done. You must see something that is close to it. Just Google search it and you find your solution. Number 4, they make you a better leader. So many companies are now reliant on technology in one way or the other. As a manager or CEO, it is important to be able to work effectively with either a department that handles web development or with an agency that is outside that handles those things. And if you don't know the first thing about the jobs those departments or agencies do, it makes it a lot harder. It makes it a lot harder to work with them in a way that's both efficient and productive. That doesn't mean every leader needs to be a full stack developer or a programmer, but understanding the basics like HTML and CSS, the difference between JavaScript and Ruby, or the purpose of CMS, content management system, is going a long way towards working with those who are actually in charge of those things. Number 5, they make you a better collaborator. Yes, there are still standalone web developers and designers out there, but as the web grows complex, more and more people are working as parts of design and development team rather than solo operation. Collaborating on design and development project is commonplace in the tech world, and the collaboration skills you learn on this project will do wonders for your collaboration in other areas. When you can troubleshoot code with another developer or manage a project with half a dozen designers and developers working on it, then working as part of a team will be much easier for you. Number 6, the future-proof your career. That is, the 21st century skill you have can actually future-proof your career. Virtually every career and industry is becoming more tech-focused and tech-reliant. Industry from agri to education are integrating tech into their day-to-day operation. It's clear that those who have the skills are comfortable working with technology, while are comfortable working with the technology will have much easier time adapting to that changes. Learning to code isn't going to make you a master of every career-related technology out there, but what it will do is make you more confident in your tech abilities and make it easier to learn more specific technology you need to do your work. The last but not least, number 7. These skills, they make you well all-round. That is, you are an all-round, you are good in programming, you have an idea of everything. Having a well-rounded set of skills and knowledge will serve you both professionally and personally. Being able to list basic tech skills on your resume will make you more attractive to virtually every employer out there, regardless of the industry. And as more and more people become involved in tech industry, having at least a passing knowledge of what it's all about can become handy when networking personally or professionally. Now, let's move to a more complex situation now. The 4IR. I'm very sure some of you students have heard about 4IR, but you don't know what it is. 4IR is the fourth industrial revolution, and it started from 2000. But let's just go through the history of industrial revolution. The period of 1760 to 1900, we have the coal technology. That is the coal. That is where they discover coal. This coal is used to power, is a major achievement, and is used to power steam engine. It's used in the textile industry and is used to develop your train as well. It's used to power train. And train is a major means of transportation in that era. In the 1900s, a new technology came in, the electricity. That was the discovery of electricity and oil. Discovery of oil was around 1900 to 1960 as well, or late 1800s in America, or I don't know, I can't remember. So the major achievement here was internal combustion engine. And you have industry like metallurgy industry, automobile industry that are developing with this technology. Then in 1960s upward, we have nuclear energy and natural gas. And you have computers and robots coming in the 1960s to 2000. That is when we have robots and computers coming in, developing by Microsoft and other companies as well. Then what is popular here, the industry are developing here are the automobile industry, the chemistry. That is when people start using chemistry more, the nuclear energy. Then we have planes. This was the era that the plane was developed from 1960 upward. That's when they started using plane actively worldwide, when people switch from train to plane. Then in the 2000s, that is when you heard about 4IR. I'm sure some of you are just saying of 4IR, but it's been existing since 2000. We have the green energy. You see people are now moving from all these hydrocarbon, our oil and gas, to green energy. They want a renewable energy that will not produce CO2. Then we also have technology, the introduction of internet, 3D printers, genetic engineering, etc. Then you have ultra fast trains and electric cars. So let me emphasize more on 4IR. 4IR is currently a developing environment in which disruptive technologies and trends such as IoT, Internet of Things, robotic, virtual reality, and AI, artificial intelligence, are changing the way modern people live and work. The integration of this technology into manufacturing practices known as the Industry 4.0 or 4IR. Specific technologies related to 4R include the AI, IoT, you have said, robotics, VR, your mobile devices, 3D. You see smartphones. Phones are now getting smarter. You have your smart, what do you call it? The smart speakers as well, your Alexa, your Siri, like that. You have smart sensors as well, VR, data visualization, etc. Then you have your blockchain technology. Those of you in cryptocurrency. They also have quantum computing and cloud computing. These are all 4IR stuff products. So we still have more on 4IR. So what are the challenges of 4IR? While there are many benefits of 4IR, there are several key challenges that lie ahead at the same time. The revolution could yield greater inequality, particularly in the potential to disrupt labor markets, as automation substitutes for labor across the entire economy. The net displacement of workers by machine might aggravate the gap between returns to capital and returns to labor. I don't know if you can comprehend what's happening now. We're telling you that if you are not technologically, what can you call it? If you don't embrace technology, you'll be replaced by robots. That is, nobody is looking for someone that is going to be using hand or manual laborers will go into extinction in years to come. Computers will be doing everything to the countries that can actually afford it. We'll also get there in Nigeria, but maybe years to come. So you have to embrace this technology as soon as possible. They said the scarcest and the most valuable resource in an era driven by digital technology will be neither ordinary labor nor ordinary capital. Rather, it will be by those people who can create new ideas and innovation. In the future, talent, more than capital, will represent the critical factor of production. People with ideas, not workers or investors, like what I've said, will be the scarcest resource. That is, people that you need that can do your work, they will be scarce. Do you get it now? So these people will be paid heavily. People that see them will pay them heavily. You can see developers earning up to 500,000 in Lagos or more than that because they have what others don't have and they are scarce. So you have to embrace this technology ASAP. In 2017, Bloomberg Global Business Forum, Apple CEO Tim Cook commented, if I were a country leader, my goal would be to monopolize the world talent. That is, if he's the leader of a what do you call it, of a developed nation, then he is going to embrace talent. That we are looking for people with skills, people with talent. The quest for talent will give rise to a job market that may become increasingly segregated. Low-skilled and low-wage jobs will be replaced by computers and digitization. The higher-paying job requires more skill. The higher-paid jobs requiring more skill are less likely to be replaced. Do you get what I just said now? Those that are getting paid higher, they are less likely to be replaced. But those low workers will be replaced, may be replaced by machine. Do you get what I'm saying now? This increased dichotomization and can lead to an increase in social tension. In addition to the threat of massive job displacement under the 4IR, there are a variety of challenges such as cybersecurity, hacking, like what's happening all over the world now. People are hacking into people's accounts, steal money, etc. Risk assessment and others. A higher level of alert is raised when our lives become intensively connected to various devices, such as our phones, our cars, light switches, to our own cameras, etc., smart speakers. One of the biggest trends in 2018 consumer electronics shows that everything is connected and there's no going back. Nigeria will get there, whether it's now or never. So when we get there, there's no going back. Everybody's already using smartphone now. Even the illiterates are already using fast smartphone. So you have to embrace technology before technology catches you up. You have to move ahead. So that is all about my presentation. Thank you. If you want to connect with me, you can. That's my LinkedIn account. Then that's my email. Sorry, it's gmail.com. That's a mistake. Then that phone number, you can drop a message to top professional So thank you for listening. Host Timothy. Timothy. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Nuesa President, that's all about my presentation. So if you have any question, okay, yeah, I'm done with the presentation. I'm waiting for the host to continue the other aspects. So let me go to the file in case you have to. Yeah, I'm done with the presentation. Is the host there? Mr. President.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm done with the presentation. Okay,
So
I'm going
I
to send.
sincerely
Yeah, somebody saying,
appreciate.
can I send? I'm going to send the.
Hello.
Okay, continue, please. Yeah, continue. We can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. I sincerely appreciate everybody, starting from the His Excellency Engineer Abdullah Esule. I can hear you, sir. All right. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful presentation from you, sir. Hello, we can hear you. All right. That's a very wonderful presentation from you, sir.
Yeah, I'm done with the presentation.
Okay. I want to appreciate. I'm sorry, I have internet problem from this angle. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me, sir? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I want to thank everybody for making it for this program, starting from His Excellency Engineer Abdullah Esule, the chairman of the day, Engineer Joe, the immediate past SB president, my mentor and my teacher, Engineer Louis, the business manager for Autodesk Nigeria, my tutor, Engineer Fatimilare, and other students joining here, the Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. So tomorrow is another day. We'll be having tutor from the various field of learning to take the students across each and every software you've chosen already. So thank you, everybody, and God bless you. Thank you, sir. Okay.